That this CRA board meeting is starting on May 13, 2014. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Board Member Galvin.
Here.
Board Member Keys.
Here.
Vice Chair Bien-Aimé.
Here.
Board Member Stereo.
Here.
Chair Tondro.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Why don't we stand for the... Do the Pledge of Allegiance.
The flag is
Tight.
It's okay. I can see it in the TV. Thank you.
Yeah, we got a flag here.
Thank you.
pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion.
Actually, I have an amendment for discussion.
On the agenda?
Yes.
Which one?
I believe that we should have an agenda item to approve the minutes of March 11th, because we did not approve them last time. It's in the minutes that we had to bring it back, but we need to approve. That should be in a separate agenda item.
Why wasn't it approved on on April 8th?
Mr. Schnidman had sent in a revised set of minutes, and I believe we approved them, we called it back, and continued the approval so everybody had time to read the new set of minutes.
Ah, okay, I remember. All right. So, do
So it
we
should
have a motion to approve the agenda?
With the amendment?
as amended.
As amended.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended by Councilwoman Keys, or Board Member Keys.
There's a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes for April 8th?
I have a comment on that, too. Briefly, we had a discussion at the end of the meeting where we were discussing the TIF revenue, and I spoke, Mr. Prudent, and we spoke about getting those numbers, and it's been back and forth. I know Mr. Prudent and several people have been working very hard on getting those projections, but it wasn't reflected in the minutes, and I think it should be, that it was requested, and I'm talking about the TIF from Biscayne Landing. We're looking at about a $500,000 income, 500 million income over 30 years, and I think it's important enough to be mentioned in the minutes.
So that's an amendment to the minutes of April 8th?
Yes.
I'll make motion to,
Madam
Okay.
Chair. Mr. Executive Director, if I may.
Yes,
Those
Mr.
the minutes that we have for the CRA board are not verbatim minutes of what happened at the meeting. Whatever happened at the meeting is recorded, and if anyone wants to know exactly what happened, then they can go to the tape recording and assess those informations. Actually, basically, the purpose of those minutes is to record and report on what was voted on. So basically, we don't want to make it a habit of having verbatim minutes. We don't have the manpower to do that. So we basically give an impression of what happened at the last meeting, and if somebody wants to know exactly all the details, they can go to the tape recording that's available
Where is the
online.
tape recording? Because I tried to find it on our website. I can't find our recordings.
It is online, and if you want, I'll get a copy and put it on your
I don't
desk.
want a copy. I just want to be able to get on our website and find things.
We are working on our website at
Okay,
this point.
because
Yeah, we are working on our website. Sometimes it goes down because if we don't put the date of the next meeting, then the website doesn't work. So
But
we
but-
know it's not
but our-
functional.
but our past-
We're working on it.
But there's no archive tapes, unless it's with the city.
No, it is with the city.
It's not with the CRA website, it's on the city's website?
Right. There is a shared folder that's where it
Okay.
is.
Thank you.
Okay, so therefore, there is no, what is reflected there is what was voted on. That's what you're saying
Right.
on the minutes?
Right.
And anybody who needs more detail, they have to go
Right.
on the recorded a session of the
Exactly.
CRA meeting.
Exactly.
Therefore, should you withdraw your motion, Madam Keys?
No?
Why not?
Because I agree, I feel that something important like that and a board discussion should be of record, because when people are going out to look at our records and what's going on with the CRA, one is they can look at the agendas, or they can at least look at the minutes to see what was discussed at that meeting, and nobody's...
So you want every single thing that was discussed in the meeting to be put in the...
I think it was a big discussion, it was important to me, and I would like it to be
No,
reflected
I'm
in
asking
the
you,
minutes.
you want from now on for every single thing that is being discussed to be put in the minutes? Because as Mr. Prudent just clarified for you, what they put on the minutes are the things that have been voted on. And the discussion...
I think they could be a little more detailed.
No, this is basically what we have.
On the mic. On the mic.
Sorry. And this capacity is what we have to do is to give a summary of minutes. And everything else is recorded, like Mr. Prudent said. If anybody wants more details, they can go to this recording and to have more detail. But what we are supposed to do by law is to give a summary of the minutes.
By law.
Yes.
Thank you. Madam Keys, I'm back at you again.
I would still like a little more detail in our minutes, so you all can vote against me, it's okay.
No, Mr. Clerk, roll call.
You need it. Can I have some
Yes, sure.
clarification?
I'm sorry.
And
Go ahead.
sorry.
Hold on. Go ahead, Mr. Bien-Aimé.
What is the request of Councilwoman Keys? You need more details on the last council meeting, or what?
Last CRA board meeting.
Oh, CRA
She
board meeting.
wants the minutes to reflect the discussion, according to her, that are of importance. She wants them to be shown on papers, when by law, what they're required to put in the minutes are the items that we were voted on.
Yes.
Now, my other question would be, excuse me, Mr. Bien-Aimé, if I'm cutting you, whose discretion it is to decide what's important and what's not important? Shall we have your approval first, Madam Keys?
How about our attorney? What is the act? Am I incorrect in wanting more detailed minutes, or is the bare minimum what's required? I'll
Verbatim,
defer to you, Mr. Attorney.
through the chair, verbatim minutes are not required under the law. I mean, summary minutes are legal and what is required. I mean, what is happened at the meeting and what is the summary of those is up to the clerk's office to include in the minutes. And the clerk has put together the minutes of the meeting, the summary, as the clerk has seen fit. I mean, you're certainly entitled to make a motion to include something else or amend them if you like. And assuming there's a second and a vote, either up or down.
Okay. Mr. Bien-Aimé, you have the floor.
And I understand now, but I just don't think I understand the minute need to reflect what have been said at the council, but at the same time I understand if we need a copy of the tape, we always can request that, right? It's public record.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay. Not only that, only those items by law, the items that we voted on are the ones that are reflected in the minutes.
Yes.
Therefore, if it's only a discussion, because I remember there was one meeting where we discussed for almost 2 hours. I don't know whether or not we should put this. And the big question is, who decide what should go on the minutes in terms of discussion?
The
That's
clerk's
the thing.
office,
So,
right?
Madam Steril, you
Well,
have something
what-
in mind?
Not really. It's okay.
Well, what I'm asking for then is for this particular set of minutes to include that there was a discussion on the TIF and that we would be working on getting, our coordinator would be getting numbers for us as to the expenses and future income from Biscayne Landing.
Well, they did talk about the Mr. Schneidman alluded to a Miami Herald article published in 2011 that highlighted the transformation of downtown North Miami. And they said also this strategy, according to Mr. Shidman, will increase the tax base of the city, thereby produce tax increment fund, TIF, to alleviate blight in all areas. What is it, what else that you would like to see on the minutes, Madam Keys?
Just a brief.
That's not a briefing?
A paragraph that there was a discussion regarding the TIF specifically from Biscayne Landing over the next 30 years.
I second it.
Madam.
Go ahead. I second your motion.
Go ahead.
Board Member Key's request is the subject of a whole presentation next month. So,
She just wants,
Well,
Madam Chair.
I just
It
wanted
sounds
to-
like all we need to do is add a sentence.
Yes,
We'll-
And
that's
if
all
the
I'm asking for.
Councilwoman would state the exact sentence, let's just vote on that
I
sentence.
already second it, so let's
All right.
move on.
I'm ready to vote then.
I'll get it added on to the next agenda.
Thank you.
No, we're gonna vote on
We're
it
gonna
because she made the motion, I second it.
Okay.
Anyone wishes to record a no?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. Which,
Say that on item 1, on the minutes, agenda item 1, say that there was a discussion made by the board on the presentation of Mr. Stidman.
the thief
Regarding-
from Biscayne Landing.
Of the future TIF of Biscayne Landing,
Future.
there was a discussion regarding the future TIF from Biscayne Landing over the next 30 years.
But no vote was taken. Make sure you put that down too. You have that, Mr. Clerk?
yes,
You got it down?
no vote was taken, Madam Chair.
More vote?
No vote.
Oh.
It was not a voting item.
Okay, are we going for
Now,
the
Do I
minutes?
have an approval of the minutes with the amendments?
So moved.
Second it.
Anyone wishes to record a no? Okay. Item 4 on the agenda.
Did we,
Actually-
Madam Chair, we need to vote on the minutes of March 11th, I believe.
March 11. Yes.
Move approval of the minutes from the board meeting of March 11th, 2014.
I'll second it. Anybody wishes to record a no? Let's move it. Agenda item.
Thank you.
Thank you. Status report on CRA development plan extending the life of the CRA. Again? Do I have the same?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to chime in right now and say that the agenda for this meeting, is Mr. Schnidman making a presentation?
Well, he is scheduled to be here. I don't see him, but if he doesn't show up soon, I will give you whatever brief update on where we are with the process, which is what he was going to be doing.
He's not here. I'd move we continue this item to the next meeting of June the 2nd, June the 8th.
I'll second.
He was just giving a report.
I have a,
Well, he
June
was supposed
10th.
to do a presentation as
No,
the
there is
appointee.
well, Mr. Executive Director, if I may.
Yes, you mean.
Thank you. Madam Chair,
Mhm.
Mr. Schnidman's contract was supposed to be over last March.
Right.
Because he had some issues with his family, where he did actually spend the time on our issues, he extended his contract through the end of April. So I had asked him to give you a status report of the work he did for the 7 months that he was with us. However, if we continue this, he is not obligated to be here. He was obligated to be here today to give us a status report. However, if we put him for the month of June, he is not obligated to be here. So if he wants to be a good citizen, he can show up and accommodate us. Otherwise, I can give you a status report, and we move on, and we can discuss Mr. Schnidman at a different time.
I make a motion to have the status report if it's fit, Madam Chair.
Yeah, any second?
You need a
No,
motion to.
I'm sorry. I think there was
to
a
hear
previous
that one.
motion to table
Oh.
the item.
To table, yeah, Mr. Galvin made a motion and it was not seconded.
And
The
what?
motion
I
died.
withdraw my motion.
He withdrew.
Okay, so can we get
Okay.
the report?
Thank you. Good afternoon, board members, Madam Chair, and the audience. As you know, we had employed Mr. Snidman for a period of 7 months, primarily to help us update the redevelopment plan, which had not been updated since 2005, and also to help us with the process of extending the life of our CRA with Miami-Dade County. Mr. Snidman worked diligently on the summary part of on the word part of the plan. However, in order for him to continue to complete his task, he needed to get from us, from the board and the CRA staff, some major projects to justify extending the life of the CRA for the next 45 years. So that's where we are. He made many presentations. He alluded to the Delray Beach success story. He gave us many examples of projects that could possibly be implemented in North Miami to fit into what we are trying to do, that is to extend the life of the CRA. We must all understand that we cannot go to the county with a parking garage and say extend the life of the CRA for 45 years. We need major projects that will last, that will take that long to complete. Therefore, since we did not yet do that, and we are working very closely in collaboration with the city side, where we have Ms. Tanya Sejour here, we have to understand that the CRA is not going by itself identify major projects for the extension of the life of the CRA. Whatever we do has to be a vision of the CRA board and the city council, because it cannot be my vision of the executive director's vision. It has to be your vision. So within the process that's underway right now, we are going to identify major projects that the city is getting ready to do, and within those projects, the CRA will be identified not only as a funding source, but also as a major partner in those projects. So, having said that, at this point, I'd like to, with the executive director's permission, to call up Ms. Tanya Sejour, who is going to give us an update on how far we are from identifying and adopting a concept plan for the city and the CRA.
Madam Chair, may I? You can come in, Tanya. I think it's one item, but I think it's A and B. What I'm really interested to hear tonight, because that we have a contract with Mr. Snidman to help us put together a document to present to the county. From what I'm hearing from staff right now, all the part that he was all the document that he was supposed to put together is ready, except that we, as the city or the CRA, is supposed to give him the identified project. So from there, since that we cannot do it overnight, we're going to not suspend, but hold on to his contract until that we identify those projects and then move on and provide it to him, and then he will present the full report or documents.
That's correct, madam.
Okay. So that's where
correct.
we at now?
That's where we are.
So this is part B.
Okay.
What Mr. Zhu is about to present it to us. Right,
Yeah,
sir?
that's correct.
Okay.
One point of clarification. What Tanya or what Leslie Prodant is actually describing, it's just one part of the prioritization projects for the CRA. there are several projects, and they all have to be prioritized. The downtown redevelopment is just one project that they have that we're looking at. There's also several other projects in the utilities and other developmental projects that we are looking at, but they will all be prioritized in order. The number one priority, which you're alluding to, would be item number 2, which is the downtown redevelopment.
Okay.
That's right.
So in that case, isn't it that was item 1 that we just discussing, and Madame Sejou is about to
Discuss
present
item number 2.
2.
That's correct.
Okay.
So item number 1.
It's over. So
Yeah.
now we're on item number
Mhm.
2.
So you done with the presentation from Mr. Schlittman?
If there are no questions, yes.
Did you?
No, it's just worth it.
I was trying to help all along because we were all over the place. So
Okay. Agenda,
Is-
You have to-
Mr. Bien-Aimé.
Okay.
Does that mean the downtown plan gonna be a part of the CRA plan? That's gonna go before the county?
The downtown redevelopment plan is going to be one of our priority projects on the CRA.
When we need to extend the life of the CRA, we all know that for months and months again. And we hire a firm to put together the paperwork. We still not have the project as of today.
That's correct. I believe that's what Mr. Sidman was working on. With the help of city staff, I think what is missing is the list of projects for that plan.
Okay, when you're gonna have the list of those projects?
The list of projects is dependent on...
Beside the CRA? Sorry, beside the downtown plan.
We do have the other list, the other projects. They are utility projects with a downtown development.
I thought CRA staff was gonna sit down with each council member and identify sort of our
Yeah.
project, different project that we may have. And I think I asked that since January or March that you guys was gonna sit down with me, sit down with every member of the council. What do you want in your district? What do you want now see inside the CRA plan?
Well,
I thought this is
if
how
I-
you
if
were
I
gonna
may-
do it.
If I may, Mr. Executive Director, as I said earlier, the CRA staff can propose ideas, but we cannot identify project. It's the purview of the board to vote on whatever it is that they
Yeah,
feel.
but you as an employer, you need to move. You need to move and start engaging, initiate discussion with the members
And that's
about.
that's what this process is all about, and that's what Ms. Sejou, when she comes
No,
up,
Ms. Sejou is
is
just
going-
gonna talk about the downtown plan and gonna say it's inside the
Well,
CRA.
that's a major component of that's a major project that would justify extending the life of the CRA for a number of years.
But we don't need only that to
well,
extend the life of the CRA.
However, let me. I think Mr. Schnittman made a clarification that I think we should all keep in mind, that as a CRA board, there is only one district in the CRA, one district,
I
that's the
understand
CRA
that.
district. So if we go back to thinking that
No,
whenever-
Mr. Putin, what I want to say is like, I understand we have one district,
one district,
but in the CRA boundary, like in my district or in the city, what I want to say, why should we extend the life of the CRA? Maybe I have an idea. I thought you were going to sit down with us about that.
yeah,
You cannot
well,
have a downtown without a CRA. That's
No,
number
we
one.
okay with the.
That's number one.
Wait. We cannot have a
That
downtown
is correct.
without the CRA.
That is correct.
well,
I didn't know that.
In all cities that have a downtown, the major role of that downtown was played by their CRA.
I think that's what the chairwoman wanted to say, that it is a lot easier for cities to develop their downtown or whatever major projects they are doing with the help of a CRA, because when you do
So
that,
with the
you have a lot of money coming from the county that otherwise you would not have available in your
That is
budget.
correct.
May I?
You
I
said
think
money from the county
Yes. Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
And the money is given to the CRA. If we don't have it, you won't get it.
May
It's
I?
like the carrot and the...
I
Yes.
think we all agree on the same thing, except what Councilman Bienemy is trying to, is saying, not trying to saying, is that we all agree to support the downtown development. But I think what he's saying that I agree on, since January, we were supposed to sit down with us to find out which, just to move it faster. Right now, we only meet once a month, and unfortunately, we only have, sometimes we have no item. Right now, we don't really have any agenda item to discuss, because we're discussing things that we discuss all the time, and this is a city item as well that we're discussing now. But we could have made it faster if we have take the time, meet with us, and then specific more item. Nothing about the downtown. Downtown is packed. Everybody's agreed. But if we want more item to add into the CRA in order to present it to the county, we have to do it a little faster. The fastest way to do it, not to meet up here or discuss it, but is to meet individually and then make it happen.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, we will get on your calendar as soon as possible and do just that.
No problem.
Thank you.
Done.
Thank you.
Yeah, by the next meeting, we will be setting up meetings individually so we could meet with you guys on the project.
Done.
Agenda item 2, I'm sorry, anybody, any questions? Mr. Bieneme, you done with your
No,
questions?
I'm okay.
Scott?
Are we having a presentation?
No, that would be item number 2.
That was,
Madame Sejour.
since we already
Yeah,
made the
no,
presentation for you anyway,
Yeah.
so you can go ahead and.
Absolutely.
We have
don't need
time.
to belabor the fact that we all support redevelopment of our downtown.
Is it the same presentation that we had at the town hall meeting we had at Gwen Margolis that we're having tomorrow at the Griffin Park?
No, this is part 2 of what you heard at the Gwen Margolis, and it's really moving the process forward.
So we haven't heard that one yet?
No.
Okay.
We take you through the process, and it's the next stage in the process. For the record, Tanya Wilson Sejour with Community Planning and Development. I just want to clarify that the downtown and the downtown initiative is really a subset of the entire CRA. So that's the first thing I want to clarify. The second thing is that the projects have been identified. You'll remember that in your master plan, the downtown and corridor master plan that the council adopted back in May of 2013, there were a list of projects that were recommended for transforming your downtown. The initiative that we are embarking on right now with the action plan is really prioritizing those projects. The master plan says you have to do A through Z, and the action plan stage that we're embarking on says, okay, how do we accomplish that on a 5 to 10 to 20-year timeline? What will it cost? And how do you then reflect that in your CIP? And how do we plan for the revenues that need to be attached to that? So that's the process that's unfolding right now. We're developing the action plan as well as a concept plan for the downtown. So I wanted to be clear and specific with that. Also want to recognize that we have a downtown forum that's planned for tomorrow night. We had part 1 at the Gwen Margolis on the 17th, and we're going to have part 2 tomorrow night at 6:30, and we're encouraging the community to come out. It's an initiative that's building momentum, and we clearly see from the public, based on the comments and the questions that we get in our office, that there is an interest and there's an energy towards transforming North Miami's downtown. We understand that it's an important engine for the economic success and the future of the city of North Miami. I'd be happy to entertain any other questions the council may have at this time.
That's it?
Yes.
From I just received this how would I call it, a book, the master plan. What is this, brochure? That's not a brochure.
It's a comprehensive signage master plan for the
Okay.
city, and it's on tonight's council
That's,
What's the
that's for your
technical word
commission
for it?
meeting tonight.
Huh?
That's on your commission meeting tonight.
That's
The city
for
council
the
Yes,
city council.
for your
Okay.
city council
Okay.
agenda.
Correct.
Okay. So anyway, since we're talking about downtown and CRA meeting anyways, I might as well just ask. When I go through this book, it's apparently just showing me exactly what has been done.
Correct. Correct.
So that's the
It's
intention.
a chronicle of the entire signage implementation process that's occurred
Okay.
over the last 2
So that was
years.
the intention, just to show
Correct.
me
So
where
you
we
have
at
a
now.
full-blown document in place. In the future, if you need to do any fabrication or installation, there's a master vision in place, and there's no longer any hodgepodge of city-owned signs, and we really have something comprehensive and uniformed in place.
And just to elude just one point that Tanya brought up, your downtown development is just one part of a list of projects. Just developing the downtown and increasing density would mean increasing the infrastructure, increasing the piping size, so all of these are the projects that Tanya's has already talked about in, doing your downtown project. But the order or the list of priorities are going to be on that list of projects that we'll be presenting to you. When I say the order.
Correct, in the action plan. Is what
exactly.
he's
Okay,
saying.
because I'm hearing two different things. What I'm hearing from Tanya is that we already have a priority, we already have a list
Correct.
for the downtown. What we need to do right now is prioritize the list.
Correct.
Right.
And price
This is specifically for downtown, but
for
we're not
downtown
talking
and your
about
major
CO
corridors.
in major corridor.
Correct, your master
Okay.
plan.
Right.
Okay.
Now,
So in that case,
the infrastructure that go with your development is what I'm talking about. That list that Tanya is talking about, in order to do a downtown development, your infrastructure has to increase as well to cater for that development.
that's
Yeah.
a no-brainer. So what I'm hearing is that if we already have the list, we need to be prioritized not only just for downtown, for all the major corridors. So
Absolutely.
there is the
Absolutely.
discussion should shift. Right now, what we need is to sit down with council and present the list, or discussing the list, what we would like to see first, second, third. So not
Prioritizing.
adding. I would like to see like what is it?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Prioritizing
Okay.
the list of it.
Yeah.
Numbering it. Yes.
Okay.
May I ask a
Good, good,
question?
yay.
Yes.
We agree on something.
Mr. Jewar, as you're going through this action plan and you are prioritizing these items, are we going to break them down, which will be CRA items and which will be city items, or which are going to be combined?
We could, if that's a desire of the CRA, we absolutely could.
I believe part of that is requirements,
Mhm.
and we need to make sure, Mr. Attorney, that we're advised properly as to whether we just, the CRA picks and chooses what they want, the city picks and chooses. I think we need to really be clear on which are going to be specifically CRA items and which are going to be city, because I don't think the CRA can do specifically city items. And when do you expect a cost estimate on the projects we're looking at?
By the end of June, we
End of
should
June?
be finished with it.
So we
yes.
should know what the whole development will take, and we can
Beautiful.
break it down to CRA and city?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And we welcome a discussion with the CRA if we need to sit and really do that cutting of the pie and decide what priorities the CRA has in terms of what on that list they would recommend be funded
There are
by the
rules-
CRA, and otherwise we can have a dialogue on
Yeah,
that,
per,
of course.
per regulations, which I don't know what they are, I just know that you just can't just combine them, I don't believe.
May I? I would suggest that I know that we have been having a lot of workshop done,
Mhm.
and the city as a whole, even people that don't even live in the city of North Miami actually attend those workshops
Correct.
and talking about the need, the desire to see the downtown. So I would suggest as well, if we have, like we did today, telling us about the new stuff, but although that you do the workshop for the community, I would suggest that when we have new item, or not even new item, next different steps from what we already known, to let council know, or the board members know about it, or give us a copy of the presentation, at least when we come up here, because right now everything is calm. Wait in the time that we have to vote on something. So that's when everybody will start saying that, I know I will. I never knew about it, I didn't know about it, where do you get it from, where is it? So keep us update about
Apprised.
what's going on, where we at in the process. If you actually let the community know about it, something that we need to be excited about it as well. At least the discussion will have not happen on the dais when we need to move on item.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to have one-on-one meetings with the council.
But
just to
again,
do
we
some
want to encourage,
re-education if it's
we want
needed.
to encourage
So-
council members to attend those meetings. It's it's important for you to see the reaction of the people, the participation, and the suggestions that are being made. Just having the package of what was discussed is not even a quarter of what takes place in those meetings. And I know with the reaction of the people, there were 60+ people at the last town hall meeting we had, and there were over 50 suggestions made by the people in the public, seeing it, being there, participating and seeing these people, the way that they're reacting to it, and just having a package of what presentation was made is day and night.
It's a good idea. I agree with the mayor. Unfortunately, sometimes when staff choose a date and advertise it, that's when I know I see it. I know Scott has, so we have to be in different places or have different activities or have to be at work or attend other function. So if I know before you guys advertise it, as you usually do, calling council, well, you're going to be available, you're going to be available for this meeting, and then you take a consensus from the council, I'll be happy to be there. But most of the time, I know downtown workshop, when I see it on the calendar like everybody else, when you guys advertise it.
Okay.
That's been plan already made, so it's kind of like
we'll
hard
work
to
with
attend.
staff. I appreciate the feedback. We'll definitely work with staff to make
that
sure
everybody, before
each
you
of you are
choose a date,
connected
to consult people one-on-one, so we have
Absolutely.
so that way we
Consensus.
make sure that everybody is aware, everybody agree on the date, and everybody's there.
Not a
Beautiful.
problem. This is intentionally why we had several forum dates planned, because we understand there are conflicts. You're very busy. You have a schedule that's packed. So if you miss the first forum, then you have another bite at the apple,
Just,
so to speak.
that's-
Forum
that's
two
We're going to
tomorrow
have,
night.
are we
Very
having
good.
another forum at Sunkist Grove as well?
We had not planned Sunkist
Why
Grove
not?
because it was so far west, and we were trying to keep
There
the
are
momentum
citizens of the
central
city, and if there's a downtown,
You know
there will
that
be consumers as well.
But you know that I
So
live.
is our-
You
we
know
can
that I
make it
live in the
happen.
west, though, right? But I come down.
So am I.
yes. Yes.
So do I.
We can make it happen. We can make it happen.
We
Our
talking- it's
focus
not-
was within the downtown,
See,
but we
the-
certainly can transport
Okay,
that
because I'm
if we
hoping
need
that
to.
you're not putting the downtown district thing. It's a city thing. And I'm hoping that every single citizens of the city has the opportunity to be briefed and to participate in the decision making and giving their own decision as well. Because when it's there, the profit is going to be for, they're going to be profiting from it as well. They're going to be consumers, and everybody it's the city project. It's not a district.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
We receive it.
Thank you. Now, any all business to discuss?
I'm sorry.
We have a resolution.
We have a resolution, but before we go to the,
What was the resolution?
before we go to the,
Mr. Clerk, you're supposed to read the resolution.
before, Madam Chair, if I may, before we go to the resolution, we have the chairman of the advisory committee here. I'd like to recognize him and see if he wanted to say a word or
Who?
two.
About what?
A word about what?
Well, this is your advisory committee for the CRA,
Oh.
the chairman.
Oh, yeah, you were the chairman when I was there. Come. Mr. McDermott, my dear friend.
I don't think it's on.
Mike McDermott, 840 Northeast 127th Street, Chairman of our CRA Advisory Committee. I think what came out of our advisory committee meeting, at our last advisory committee meeting, is encouraging the city to speed up the selection process of the major items that you want to see for downtown. I think everybody is very anxious. They want to see this. Everybody loves the vision. Everybody wants to be on board, and when you create that kind of excitement, they say, everybody's like, you know, let's do it, let's do it. So I think there was that was the feeling of the advisory committee. They appreciate what this mayor and city council are doing to revitalize our downtown, and I think they just want to be there to encourage to, you know, move it forward as quickly as possible. Thanks. Is that
Thank
about
you.
it, Leslie?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Clerk, would you please read the
Madam Chair,
agenda?
I believe the city
Um,
attorney wanted to.
Excuse me, before we move to the resolution,
No, we just want to hear what it is.
Okay, go ahead, read the resolution into the record, Madam, Mr. Clark.
Proposed resolution of the chair and board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency stating its intent to make the redevelopment of the downtown area of the city of North Miami a redevelopment priority, approving the redevelopment of the downtown area of the city of North Miami as its redevelopment priority, authorizing the CRA executive director and CRA attorney to make any and all necessary actions to facilitate the implementation of the intent of this resolution and providing an effective date.
Is there a motion for the proposed resolution?
So moved.
I'll second. Discussion? We discussed it before we even read the resolution.
I have discussion, please. One, who drafted this? You, Mr. Selkowitz?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. I was a little confused as a difference of the first two sentences.
Which two sentences?
Intent to make the redevelopment of the downtown its priority, and then approving the redevelopment of the downtown as its priority. Are those really saying two different things?
I think so.
Very confusing.
I think they're saying two different things. It said one is stating the intent, and the other is approving the intent.
It was a little cumbersome or confusing to me. My concern here is that we are, number one, we're making this our priority. Is this for the next 30 years, or is this for 5 years? Because this is part of, we're doing this because we're getting ready to amend our CRA. So my question is, are we going to prioritize this for the next 30 years, or does this have sunset at some point? The second issue I have a problem with is we are giving our CRA executive director and CRA attorney the ability to take any and all actions necessary to facilitate and implement this intent. And I think that is just way too broad a power to give to our director and our attorney. I think we are the board and we're supposed to make the decisions, and I really don't want things going on and I don't know about it and I haven't had any say, and I don't think the rest of the board has had any say. And to just give our director, whoever that might be, that kind of broad power, I can't agree with that. Thank you.
Would you like me to respond, Madam Chair?
Sorry.
As the maker of the motion, I'd like to hear the response.
Yes.
Thank you, Board Member Galvin. First of all, any resolution we approve at this point is only as good as long as the CRA is in existence. And at this point, we're only in existence until September 30th of 2016. So if and when we do extend the life of the CRA and extend the redevelopment plan, then we can decide whether this is going to be the 30 or 40-year plan at that point. As far as giving the executive director and the attorney the authorization to take any action, I mean, all that is still subject to any actions we take being subject to approval by the board. I mean, we don't have the ability to enter into any agreements, to expend any money in excess of what the bylaws would normally allow the executive director to expend money for. So all that's basically giving us is the ability as a direction. I see it more as staff to go ahead and work on this, as opposed to going out there and maybe I'm wrong in interpreting what your concern is that you maybe think we're going to go out and enter into agreements and do things without bringing them back to the board, and that's certainly not the case. We don't have the authority to do that.
May I ask for a friendly amendment that we strike the term any and all steps and just take steps necessary, so that it doesn't seem like we're giving carte blanche for staff to go out and do everything and anything?
I agree on the amendment.
That's certainly up to the maker of the motion, certainly.
Okay. You want to make a friendly amendment to agenda item number 2. Any second?
Second.
There we go. I've solved the issue.
Okay, so
You still have a question, Madam Steril?
Any and
No.
You were going to intervene earlier before Scott speaks.
No, I was just talking about the life of the project. Just not answering to give my opinion. Downtown project is a lifetime project. It never finished. It will always be there. You will always have a downtown. You will always want to add a butterfly chairs, but I don't like butterfly. But now I just need like a kangaroo chair. So it's a lifetime process. So, well, that's all I have to say. Nah, Carol, I get you.
Do I hear, Mr. Clerk? Can you please do roll call?
Yes.
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 And
Mr. Bien-Aimé?
But
yes.
Okay.
But
So it's all yes all the way.
Oh, yes.
We all say yes before you start the roll call, since it was.
yes, Madam Chair.
So there are
Can I
5
now?
yes.
I'm sorry.
There are 5 yeses.
We all agree.
Oh, all agree. Okay,
Yes.
so
Madam
there's
Chair.
no roll call.
Shouldn't he read the
We
amended?
did the roll call for you, sir.
No, I just want to make sure.
No,
I
Okay,
he
go
has
ahead,
the
go ahead,
amendment.
go ahead, do your job. Go ahead,
no,
sir.
no, you do it.
Go ahead,
That's
sir.
okay. No, you do it.
No,
It's
go
okay.
do the roll call.
Yes.
Okay, yes, Board Member Steril, yes. Board Member Galvin?
Yes.
Board Member Bien-Aimé?
Yes.
Board Member Keys?
Yes.
Madam Chair Tondou?
Yes,
5-0.
thank you.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Sure,
I
sir.
just have a comment as we move forward on this, because this is a very important step in moving forward with the redevelopment plan and our priorities. And we do need, the CRA, we need to work very closely with the city, because there are statutory limitations on what the CRA can spend its money on. And one of those has to do with items that are already in the city's CIP. So if some of the intended projects that have been identified by staff are going to be placed into the CIP, I would ask that we not do that until we sit down and actually discuss which entity is paying for what, because the CRA does have the ability to pay for items like infrastructure and sewer and water. And if you recall, and you know, when the city needed a new water plant and came to the CRA, we had an issue because that was already in the CIP. So we want to avoid that issue as we amend our redevelopment plan, so we can utilize the CRA to the full benefit of its financial ability to help with the redevelopment of downtown. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you,
you.
Mr. Selkowitz.
Old business to discuss, new business to discuss. The new one is the invitation to the Art Day. We're having an Art Day on May the 30th from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Mocha Plaza. What it's all about is that people who are creative, who creates craft, who creates painting, but they have to be the author of that particular thing. It's going to be a first, and if it works, we might continue to do it twice a year. That gives the new artists, the new people who doesn't have a storefront, who doesn't have a chance for them to sell their goods. So they need to register with the CRA in order for them to have a booth. It will take place on Friday, May 30th from between 4 and 9, Mocha Plaza. Any of you who knows artists, who knows people who does jewelry, who knows people who creates clothing, whichever, no food. They will be able to participate in that particular art day. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, goodbye.